Rise and shine, loved ones. It's Bernadette. I am here with your Pick a Card Tarot reading for Thursday, January 28th, 2021. I just got to tell you guys this week, I am going to have to pre-record some of the readings. There's crazy weather coming in, and the manatee dive got rescheduled to next Tuesday on the 2nd or something. Yeah, Tuesday the 2nd. And everything's kind of gotten jumbled. So I actually love that I'm pre-recording some of these because it's going to show you guys, most of you study, psychic things, metaphysical things, mediumship, all that, and by this time, I'm guessing, there really is no such thing as time. That's really just an illusion. And when you are a reader, whether you're reading for yourself or other people or doing intuitive work, you're always going to get future-oriented things, always. As a matter of fact, a couple days ago, I read for a gal, and at the very end of her, I said, "Do you have any other questions?" And she was thinking, and I said, "I have a question for you." I said, "Do you have a thing about red cardinals?" And she said, No, I love birds, but not specifically red cardinals." And I said, "Hi, God, I feel like I'm sitting in a small, quaint garden." And I said, "There are just dozens and dozens of these bright red cardinals all around." She said, "No, I don't get that." I said, "Okay, no worries." I said, it's probably for somebody else, or, air traffic control problems, or, not really problems, but when you do as many readings as I do, sometimes you'll get things that are coming in for another client. They'll zip in, during another person's reading. So the next gal I was on the phone with, I said, "Before we get started, I just have to ask you, by any chance, do you have a thing about red cardinals?" And she said, "Well," she said, "I love them." She said, "But not a thing." She said, "Oh, but I am wearing a t-shirt or a shirt that just has red cardinals all over it." So I was like, "Oh, the cardinals showed up for you." And then we talked about what that meant. So moving ahead with you all today, man, this is, let me just show you the card. So for your Pick a Card tarot reading today, you've got the Snow Leopard, which is the Hermit card, and it's inverted. Now, the Hermit card, and for traditional tarot card meanings, it's all about, if you take a look at the he's supposed to look like a wise man, sitting there with his light, with the sun and all the, all the solar energy, and his one staff is golden, and he's sitting at the top, standing at the top of a snow-capped mountain. His beard is white, and he's looking down either in reverence or prayer. And that's, all of you wild ones that are so gracious to join me, when you do, that's of course the space that you're in, where, listen, who's not trying to ascend, right? Who's not trying on their spiritual journey to be a better and better and better person? Goodness knows I am. And I hear from you all the time, which I love. Thank you so much. And so I just, when it's inverted though, you've got a situation where you're too much in your head. You're thinking about doing, you're thinking about being. One of the gals that I talked to, this in the past couple of weeks, she's taken years worth of classes, and she's really good, meaning she's evidential. She gets accurate messages. She's very tapped in. Goodness knows she knows lots of different, disciplines, astrology and numerology and this and that and the other. And that makes a really robust reading, a really, really, really full, rich reading for people. But she just can't quite get out of her head yet to go ahead and start her own professional practice. So whatever this is that you want to do, and it could be a relationship, it could be going into a relationship, it could be exiting a relationship, it could be career, it could be just for yourself, things that you're working on for yourself. But you've got to, the bottom line is, when the Hermit is inverted, it is, it's time to get out of your own head and start doing. Now, when you, and that really, the reading could, your reading, your tarot reading for today could really end there. It could be short and sweet. However, then you start to add in one of this spirit totem and power animal, Snow Leopard, is just a subject of fascination by the people who are fascinated with it. Meaning, I've found over the years that big cat people, lions, tigers, you know, panthers, leopards, cheetahs, um, they take into consideration those big cats, but snow leopard always seems to kind of get left by the wayside, and I've never been able to figure out why that is. It's snow leopard actually happens to be one of my totems that I go to when I'm like, you know, I need a little bit of different information other than my tried and true bear. It's the second one that always shows up for me, right? This cat is so revered. The snow leopard is so revered in Nepal, in, you know, that whole area of the world. It's almost like a religion. Truly, it is. They live in the most mysterious. You almost never see them in, you know, in public. For you to actually catch a glimpse of one and be able to take a shot of one, you know, a photo of one in the wild, good luck with that. And they're very equated with silent retreat, with going within. They thrive in the freezing cold and the snows at that altitude. And so they've got, I'd have to look it up real quick, but they've got a special thing about their paws where they, you know, they can walk all on that ice and, you know, be like, oh my God, I'm breaking a sweat, right? So when that is inverted, when the snow leopard is inverted, because they're very, very much equated to the same as the hermit, because they live at the top of mountains, you know, all that higher wisdom kind of thing. It's very much the same message, but more pronounced. Meaning, I'm going to guess this is not the first time you've heard, get out of your head, get out of your head, start doing, start doing, start doing. Or it's not the first time that you've heard, okay, listen, it's time to figure out why you're blocked from moving forward. You know you want to. You being stuck in whatever place that you're stuck in, you know, you haven't been able to make yourself do it. Other people haven't been able to encourage you, I guess, in whatever way you need. You're not hearing them. You're not trusting them. You know, the timing's not right, regardless of what they, you know, there can be a billion different reasons. But at the end of the day, it will all boil down to confidence. Now, that may seem like a, really? Well, I could have told you that. That's fine. But do you know where that lack of confidence comes from? And do you know what the catalyst was for that? Can you look back in your life and know that moment that bomb went off in your spirit, in your head, and laid waste to your confidence? Because that's what it's like. There certainly are people that go through things as a child that are progressive, right? Years of emotional abuse, years of mental abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, and they wear down over time. But there's always an ignition moment that sets that up in their brain. And then they're more susceptible and more susceptible and more susceptible. It can be anything. But just knowing that will help you to move past everything that's going on in your head and give you the strength to take action. The reason I say that is when we're blocked because of, well, if this, then this, which is, interestingly enough, it's a mathematical scientific kind of test that they do. If this, then this. So in a case I just talked to earlier this week, this person is so smart and so clever in so many ways. And yet throughout the reading, what was sent to me by the animal allies was that was the ignition moment. And so I said, I keep hearing over and over, you're not clever, you're not clever, you're not smart enough. And that was it. That was the emotional trigger. And so this person hasn't been able to move forward because that's all they can hear in their head. Not that you're not good enough, but you're not smart enough. And those are two very different things. Very, very different things. A story, just a lifetime of people telling this person this. First of all, I want to clobber anybody who ever told this person this, you know. Triple Scorpio, I just wanted to clobber them. And by the way, remember now with this message is coming, the chakra of today is the heart chakra, right? And the planet is Jupiter, which is about expansion and optimism and let's get this done. So for all of the days for you all to get the, you wild ones to get this message about get out of your head, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's that great of a day because once this client realized that's exactly, I'm terrified if I do professional readings, I won't be smart enough to talk to all the diverse people, to explain it the way it needs to be explained. And I got to tell you, I always tell you guys, I'm your spiritual crash test dummy, right? I'm not kidding. I really am not kidding. Y'all, people ask me to do classes every day, and I love teaching. I know it's one of my two biggest callings. I've been a teacher my whole life in some form of the arts or metaphysical or whatever. I'm an internet person. I build all my own websites. I do the content. I do, and my sites get over 1 million visits a month, right? Okay. I don't know what my block is. I've been looking. It's not like I can't sit down and put 50 classes together that are I know you want because you've asked for them. So I'm working on that myself. Believe me, I'm working on that myself. But if we take today to turn this card around, and yes, I'm going to sing it every time we get a reversal. Yes, I am, until I find a better fitting song. This is the day. This is the day you go, you know what? I'm done. I am done with this mishigosh. That's a Yiddish slang for the S word, right? That smells bad, right? The big pile of S. You're done with that. You're just done. And you're going to tap into the energy of Snow Leopard, and you're going to be in a deeper relationship with that beautiful, mysterious, so wise, so there's just, and you're going to call on the Hermit to show up with his little lantern, and between Snow Leopard and Hermit, they're going to shine the light on your dark space. And they're going to show you why it's been so difficult for you. What are the preconceived fears, preconceived notions you have? If I do this, then this will happen. And I'm afraid of the then this. And so I'm just going to go back and learn more. I'm going to go back and I'm going to think about it more. Well, here's the problem with that. The more you act counter to what your sacred purpose is, the more miserable you're going to be. It's a universal law. Now you could gut it out. People do it every day. But then are you living your best life? Are you living your happiest life? No, of course you're not. So today is that day. I will tell you that specific words, intentions, wishes, prayers yield specific results. So when you go to work on this, when you go to work with Snow Leopard energy, and you call in Snow Leopard as a spirit animal or a power animal, you call in Hermit, that archetype, to work with you, be very specific. Let's start with, please show me what this is what this thing is. What is this ignition point? What is this trigger? What is this combustible thing that is prohibiting me from creating what I want, living the way I want? That's freedom, you guys, because realize I don't say stay wild just because it's fun. And, I thought, I got a neat tagline. It's not that. It really is about setting yourself free. And the only way to do that is to remove the blocks. So I hope that's been helpful. I just believe in you guys so much, and I know the animal allies do. And again, I think of the tarot, the archetypes in the tarot cards as living creatures, and you've got to know they believe in you as well. So whatever you got to do, now's the time to do it. And as we get closer to the full moon, and you've got full moon energy behind that, what? Lordy B, I cannot wait to read the stories in the comments section. A bunch of you asked me about the forums. I promise we're getting there. I promise. Hopefully this weekend I can launch. And I apologize. I gave my word they'd be up on January 1st. I never break my word. This has been something. But I think you'll be very happy for them. So I love you guys. And as you move through this full moon, as you work with all of these energies and get in a really deep relationship with your animal allies, the very most important thing is however you manage to make it happen, stay wild.